Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
What's up? What's up? AW Air Warrior. Happy Thursday, everybody. Yes, Hollywood's on strike. The actors are on strike, but this is not what this show is going to be about. This is my sports and wrestling channel, not Hollywood stuff. Yes, I did put Black Adam, Peacemaker, because The Rock and John Cena are actors, but they also were wrestlers first. And we're going to talk about wrestling, their rivalry from 2011 to all the way to 2013. It was actually kind of like a 2-year thing, build up, with matches in between. This is actually continuation of my series. I haven't done since I don't know, maybe October, September of last year, Wrestling Rivals. And on this series, Wrestling Rivals, we're going to talk about some of the best rivalries in the history of wrestling. And I think so far on this channel, I've done 3. Let's see what wrestling rivalries I've talked about. Oh, let me see. The Rivals. Okay. Let me see. What have I talked about on this channel? Stone Cold and The Rock. Yeah. Obviously, had to do that, right? Had to talk Stone Cold and The Rock. Also, my second one was episode 2, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Best friends, bitter enemies. Yep. And then the third one was the Brothers of Destruction, Kane versus Undertaker. Brothers of Destruction. Yeah, you know the history between Kane and Undertaker. And that's so far. That was 3 episodes. But we're gonna. So this would be my 4th episode. Okay, 4th freaking episode. And this is a very interesting one. John Cena and The Rock. It's not as long and it's not as long and as big as the other rivalries, those 3. It's not a 10, 15 year or like a 5, not even a 5 to a 10 to a 15 year kind of thing compared to the other guys. Like the Austin Rock rivalry was just bigger than just in the ring, was bigger than the most popular superstar. And that lasted about 4 or 5 years. Kane and Undertaker lasted a decade, maybe even more. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that rivalry, well, they knew it was more than a rivalry. That was also before. That's when DX started. Shawn Michaels left and all of that. So, but this one's probably the shortest of the 4. Hey Anthony, but this is gonna be a big wow. This is gonna be a fun one though. Okay. I'm pretty in the chat because I really did like this rivalry. Okay, so and I forgot to put in my group. I got to put in my group. So, brief little history. I think I've done a brief little history on episode 1 of The Rock, but you know The Rock came in 96. I was walking my IV. And they tried to push him as a likable babyface. Did not work. The fans turned on him. He joined the Nation Domination, turning heel, and that's when he started his ascension to be one of the top wrestlers in the history of wrestling, one of the most popular, one of the most drawing wrestlers in history. From there, he turned babyface. He joined the corporation, turned babyface. Then later on, he ran into acting. You know, Rock versus Woman would be great. And you know what? I was like, why not now? Like, why not do something now? If they're on strike, WWE, get Cena, The Rock just for a month, just for something. Get them to on strike, have something to do. Cena could wrestle still. We can't. Cena may not be able to be in any movie or TV show or film any of that stuff or appear at conventions or anything like that. But you know what? He could wrestle. SAG does not carry wrestlers. Wrestlers are in it, but for the wrestling side, for WWE, AEW, and independents, SAG doesn't carry the wrestling side of it. They only carry the acting side for the wrestlers if they want to participate in movies, TV shows, not the wrestling side. But this is a perfect. So yeah, The Rock also became a big movie star, but despite what some people say, John Cena on the other hand. So The Rock, I'll say this: The Rock's the prime of The Rock's career only lasted about 6, 7 years, from 96 to 2002. He did come back in 2003 for a couple months. He did come back in 2004 for this WrestleMania. He made some guest appearances on Raw and SmackDown between 2004 and something. No, I think 2004 was his last time until 2011. I think 2011 was his last time. But 2011, I think, is the time he came back to WWE and was there longer than making guest appearances. Yeah. And in that time when The Rock was being a part-timer, there was another wrestler on the rise, John Cena. Made his debut against Kurt Angle from SmackDown, if you all remember that. Made his debut against Kurt Angle. Ruthless aggression. Okay. And then from that, he Ascension Rise. He had that rapping gimmick. He was a heel, and then got very, very over with the crowd as the new face of WWE because Austin had to retire because of his neck, and The Rock went into Hollywood to focus on his acting career. So Cena became the face of WWE, and him as the face of WWE lasted longer than The Rock and Austin. Okay, Austin had to quit because of injuries, like I said, and The Rock focused on his acting career. But Cena lasted longer, and while Cena was around longer, he did some acting in between, like the first Marine, some smaller parts, but it did not deteriorate from a full-time wrestling. Full-time wrestling. That's until later, as he got older. Okay, so why did they make a rivalry out of this? Why did WWE decide to go with this? Do this? That's because, and this is legit. This is not. Now they're cool with each other. They bury the hatchet. They're cool with each other. They have no problems with each other now. Actually, I think they buried the hatchet some time ago, but they decided to create a story out of this when there was actually legit heat between the two. Okay. Legit heat between the two. Cena, before he decided to be a part-timer or part-time for WWE, or not really a part-timer anymore, was very passionate and very loyal about staying in WWE for wrestling for a long time. Right? Where The Rock kind of decided to go to Hollywood career instead of being a wrestler. So he called out The Rock for really banning WWE and the fans of WWE instead of being loyal to the WWE fans. He called out The Rock. He said in interviews, stuff like that. Obviously, The Rock did not take it. Did not like it. Obviously, seeing that, because The Rock, if you hear him in interviews now or in the past, you could tell in his heart he's always appreciated. He's always loves the wrestling company, the wrestling, the wrestling universe, WWE universe, because he grew up in that world, right? With his father and his mother. His father moving around all the time. He had to move with his father to different cities because back in those days, it was territorial, right? We move from one wrestling territory to another, right? To wrestle in, and back in those days, he was like that, and he understood the business from there, lived it, and he's always appreciated WWE wrestling. Also, he went out of college, he had no money, right? He tried a football career, no success at that. Okay, and if Degrassi in here, hello. And you know what? With 20, he said this with $27 in his pocket, he decided, to follow his family's footsteps. Samoan dynasty. His father is a wrestler. His grandfather is a wrestler. Uncles and cousins are wrestlers. So he decided to follow in his father's footsteps and grandfather's footsteps, and train to be a wrestler, right? And that's what he did. He trained to be a wrestler. So, and you could tell in interviews, he always appreciates wrestling. And even on Twitter, or Instagram, he'll always say something about congratulating something as someone or an event or some city has to with the wrestling. He always has wrestling stuff. But back then, Cena kind of called him out on his passion for wrestling, if his heart's really in it, and that kind of rubbed The Rock the wrong way because when you attack somebody like that, say, are you really passionate? Are you really passionate? Are you really grateful? That thankful? It hurt. It gets to them. It bothers them, right? And so they kind of WWE decided, you know what? We have The Rock. For this time period. So in 2011, early 2011, The Rock was the guest host for WrestleMania that year, 2011. Where Cena was in the main event with The Miz, and I guess their first match with each other did not happen in 2011. Okay, their first match happened in 2012 at the next WrestleMania, but it kind of started. The rivalry really took off at WrestleMania. If you remember correctly, leading up to the WrestleMania, it was Cena had a title match against The Miz, where The Miz is a champion and Cena is a number one contender for the title. The Rock was a guest host, and they had a little scrabble with Cena, going back and forth, doing skits with each other, stuff like that. Okay. And yeah, maybe the champion, The Miz, was overshadowed in this lead up to the WrestleMania as The Rock was a guest host. He was overshadowed. The champion was overshadowed because that WrestleMania was really about The Rock and Cena, not Cena and The Miz. People didn't really want to see Cena and The Miz. They wanted more to see the Cena and The Rock in that WrestleMania, but they didn't get it. And what happened was that main event between Cena and The Miz, Cena lost to The Miz. Okay, Cena lost to The Miz, but what? So this is when the feud really kicked off. Okay, Miz beat Cena, but did not win clean. What happened was The Rock interfered, gave Cena the rock bottom, his finisher. I'm not sure if he gave him the elbow, but I don't think so. I don't remember. And then The Miz got to 1, 2, 3 and retained the title. And so Cena lost. The next night on Raw, Cena and The Rock confronted each other in front of the crowd, and they basically challenged each other to a match at the 2012 WrestleMania. So already at basically a year away, almost fully a year away, they already had the main event WrestleMania match for 2012, The Rock and Cena. So they had a year to build up that story between Cena and The Rock. Okay, and 2011 also was the year of Punk, the summer of Punk, when Punk got really, really hot. Right? He had those feuds with Cena in between the summer, Money in the Bank, when he won the title and his contract was supposed to be up, even though he signed the contract, he signed the extension, but they made it seem like kayfabe he was gone, all that, and then we get to Survivor Series. Cena was again in a rivalry with The Miz, kind of. And this is the time where R-Truth turned heel. Okay? R-Truth turned heel. And in Survivor Series, there's a tag team match between R-Truth and The Miz versus Cena. And this is when once again, a big turning point in this story. So The Rock teamed up with Cena to take on R-Truth and The Miz. Miz and R-Truth got to be overjoyed working with The Rock. Okay? You got to be overjoyed with that. Okay. So obviously Cena and The Rock won. Can they coexist in a tag team match? Were they able to coexist? Well, they managed to beat R-Truth in the Miz. But after that, The Rock gave Cena the rock bottom. Okay? And so while they did defeat the Miz in R-Truth, obviously they did not really coexist. So we fast forward to 2012, a couple months before WrestleMania. Now, Cena did not win the Royal Rumble that year. Okay? Somebody else. Sheamus won the Royal Rumble. And Sheamus won the he defeated Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I remember that in like 8 seconds. Okay. And once again, we're going back and forth. There's this famous skit with The Rock in his office, I think, or wherever it was. I don't know. I don't know if it's home, probably just a stage or something. And this kid comes in dressed in a Cena shirt, Cena in a hat. And Cena's for the kids. And that kid was supposed to be like a kid version of John Cena. And The Rock was just making fun of him. Fruity Pebbles. Because John Cena had like a, you can't see me. And he was very Fruity Pebble. And John Cena was really for the kids, right? And then there's a couple of times when they were in the ring with each other. And Cena basically called out The Rock live on air in front of thousands of people in the arena and millions of people at home watching about Rock having his notes, what he's going to say written down on his wrists, basically like bullet points. Some I'll tell you one thing, some wrestlers do that. They actually do have bullet points on their wrist on what they're going to say. Wrestlers don't exactly have a script sometimes. When they're okay. I'm just saying that. And Cena just basically called him out on that. And it's been revealed that most of the stuff The Rock has said in the past he did not make up. It was actually one of the writers, Brian Gerwitz, who gave the lines, who made up all The Rock's lines. And so, and WrestleMania was in Miami. And I believe that's where Rock was at the time, living in Miami, Florida. He might still live there. Where does The Rock live? No, he lives in LA now. Okay, he lives in Los Angeles now, but I think he does have a place in Miami too. Okay. Okay. But he does have a place in Miami, in Florida, so close to Florida. Okay. Sorry. And that's when Cena and The Rock had the first match, the main event. CM Punk wasn't happy. I can tell you that CM Punk wasn't happy because he was a champion at the time and he thought the championship main event. But I'm like, The Rock and Cena is a bigger match than CM Punk and Jericho, even if the title's on the line. Rock versus Cena is a bigger match. Sometimes bigger. Sometimes the stars are bigger than the title. I'm sorry. And this is the case. And this match is actually pretty good. The Rock was solid. It was back and forth match. Like, anybody could win this match. You think about it. But in the end, The Rock got the win here. Okay? The Rock got the win here against Cena. And Cena, was disappointed. All that. But he not defeated The Rock. Okay. That was the first match. Okay? That was the first match. Okay? Okay. Let's get on to it. So fast forward to 2013. The Rock comes back to face a heel CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. Okay? Okay. CM Punk is the champion at the time at the Royal Rumble. John Cena is in WWE at the time. He's not filming anything. The Rock wasn't filming anything. So The Rock challenged CM Punk for the title at the Royal Rumble. Okay, which The Rock won. He became the champion. Okay, so The Rock could very well be going to WrestleMania at the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, there's a pay-per-view. There's another. Unfortunately, it's not really unfortunate, but there's another pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and that's Elimination Chamber or No Way Out, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember back then. The Rock defended the title against CM Punk, right? CM Punk lost at the Rumble, but CM Punk had his rematch with The Rock. The Rock won and retained. So The Rock is going to WrestleMania at the point. Now, Cena, on the other hand, had to face CM Punk on Raw in a very good Raw match. Very good Raw match. To determine the number one contender for the title at WrestleMania. 29, yeah, because the next year was WrestleMania 29. 2013 was 29. So Cena defeated CM Punk to become the number one contender for the title and faced The Rock again a second time, but this time the belt's on the line, the title's on the line. Okay? And they did their stuff to feud again. This time it's for bigger stakes. This time the belt's on the line, and they head to the WrestleMania 29. Once again, a good match, and this time Cena got the win here. Cena got the win, and won the title. But afterwards, they kind of shook hands. The Rock raised Cena's arm up and certain times of respect after this match. And I think the relationship between the two was kind of good. I think everything was water on the bridge by that point. I don't think there was any heat during that year. I think the team was good. I think it did die down, but they still wanted to do business with each other, right? Because they saw how much this could draw and how much money they could draw and how much people get their eyes on these two big money draws, these main eventers, these generational talent, generational superstars in the wrestling universe history. They saw that. And yeah, so Cena won, got the title. But The Rock did injure himself, did get hurt in this match, and it was a pretty bad injury. I'm going to pull it up. It did affect his filming career, this injury. I'm going to look it up. Let me look it up. What kind of injury was it? He did not, because he had a legitimate injury sustained during the match, which his abdominal and abductor tendons tore from his pelvis. Yeah, and it affected his filming career. Yeah. And then the year after, he did appear at WrestleMania 30, but Cena was at WrestleMania 30, but they did not meet in the ring. There was nothing between that. The feud, so it's basically a kind of a 2-year thing. It wasn't really a long feud, long rivalry. Also, they both went to Hollywood, right? Both went to Hollywood. Rock out before Cena. Cena's starting to get some major roles. Getting some major roles now. He's Peacemaker in the movie Suicide Squad, his show. He's in Barbie. I don't know what kind of role he's in Barbie. He's going to be in some other stuff for streaming services. He's getting better at acting. He's getting more. And I'm not surprised because he's up there in age. I'm not surprised he's doing more stuff. I'd like to see him back in wrestling. People forget. Anthony, The Rock. I think people forget this. The Rock did say he officially retired. He did say he officially retired from wrestling on August 3rd, 2019. He said he officially retired from wrestling, but maybe Vince and Triple H, maybe Roman Reigns could convince him to come out of retirement just for one match. Just for one match. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, that's pretty much about it in a nutshell. It started off as legit heat that they decided, you know what, we can get something out of this live on TV in front of the whole world. We can make something out of this. And it worked. Now they're cool with each other. I know DC is going another place, but they did become two heroes in the DC universe, or anti-heroes, whatever you want to call them. They're more like anti-heroes. Rock has a big career. He's back in the Fast franchise. Cena, his career's taking off. He's getting a lot more roles. Okay. And yeah, that's basically it. Between the two. The thing is, I'll say this. I know this is a short one. The other rivalries I could do much longer streams because there's a lot more to those rivalries. Okay? Because there were longer rivalries. And sometimes at those times, like the Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they were not always rivals. They were also friends. Kane and Undertaker were not always rivals, right? Kane and Undertaker were sometimes on the same side. Austin and The Rock, even though at the time sometimes they're both baby faces, they're always rivals when they're both baby faces with each other. So, and I could and in those three streams on this series, wrestling rivals, I could go a lot more because those wrestling rivals, those stories between those superstars and superstars were much longer than this. This is only about a 2-year thing. Those could go for 2 or 3 decades. The Rock and Austin one, not a decade, but 5 years, 6 years. Kane and Undertaker could go 2 decades. Triple H and Shawn Michaels could go 2 decades. It's just. But all right. So I don't know. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Take care, guys.